Good afternoon, people watchers and fans of me. Yeah, I can't do my intro again, so whatever. Hey guys, it's your boy Riku Furo, and welcome back to yet another dream. This time I'm gonna be taking an idea from Jacksepticeye, taking the 16 personality test. Now, if anyone is watching Jacksepticeye, Joseph Brightman, he's a very awesome dude. He did a personality test to wonder what kind of person is he accurately. So, after watching this video and being so like, yeah, these things are relatable, I wanna take the test. So I rounded up, found the link, and here, like, fast and easy, be yourself, and play it all, try not to be neutral, and, well, let's just get started, because there's like a whole big bunch of things that I'm gonna be saying, so let's get right on to it. You enjoy vibrant social events with lots of people. I enjoy vibrant social events. Not really. I'm kind of shy, timid. I'm highly untrusting of people. Like, I really am. I am highly untrusting of a whole big group. Whether it be in person or online, because when you see the group, you have no idea what their social standards are, and with you having a reputation that is mocked on the internet, and stuff, you don't really have, and you don't have, like, an enjoyable outlook. It's a very big if. So, somewhere in between. No, because I'd rather be by myself and be by my own thoughts than rather be with other people around me, unless if they're friendly, unless if they are like, unless if they are aware of my personality and the way that they can help me, try to be more positive, trying to be more socially positive, be more with people than against them. Next one. You often spend time exploring unrealistic yet intriguing ideas. I kinda do. Yeah. That took me a while because I have some stuff in my head that I love to explore and try to spend time thinking about it and have a lot of things in mind, and yeah, it's kind of that way. Your travel plans are more likely to look like a rough list of ideas than a detailed itinerary. A rough list of ideas. Kinda because I don't consider myself to be traveling a lot. Especially with the whole virus thing, but at a time when I was younger, I wanted to see if I were to travel the world or something. And be all like, yeah, I want to travel the world. Checking on OBS. Yes, I'm still dreaming. Yep. But I don't consider myself traveling unless if with a friend or a family member. So neutral. Sorry. You often think about what you should have said in conversation long after it has taken place. Yes, I really agree. Because most often than not, I often wish that there was something else I could do. All the mistakes I have done that I did, I wish I could have said something else, or try not to be in those conversations where it be all my fault, and wish that I had would have said something else in conversations rather than just be going one-sided and would have said things differently. If I would have said things differently in the past conversation, maybe it would have turned out differently. You know? And I spend so much time thinking, yeah, this whole thing, up and over with, but the lasting effect of what could have happened. You know? What could have happened if I wasn't, like this person, or that person, or someone in the wrong, but trying to be right? No. Wish there was something that I would have done to not make myself look like, a big target, but it's often too late. It is what it is because the world is so toxic nowadays. If your friend is sad about something, your first instinct is to support them motivationally, not try to solve their problem. This is kind of like a tough one because, well, here's the thing. I do want to support my friend. I really do, because, hey, if I support them, then that'll make their day just go a little bit brighter. But there comes a time when that friend becomes too dependent on you, and the problem keeps festering. I would... Well, I am speaking out of myself, and... Wow. just saying that says a lot of things about myself. Like I have so many things that are consistent and consistent and constant that I need the support of my friends to say, hey, it all will be fine, it'll all work better, and I'm constantly being like, but what if it doesn't? What if this idea goes awry and I'm not able to fix it? And all that kind of stuff. Like, I'm the one feeling complainy, and my friends being all like, really? But this is me to those kinds of people. Like, if they're having a bad day, of course I want to be somewhat supportive. Because, sometimes you cannot really be too trusting if they're just wanting to get for attention or if they are genuinely having a bad day. But, yeah. But, yeah. I still want to be supportive. Like, I'm not really kind of a bad guy, but, yeah. If they are having a bad day, then maybe, surely I'll do what I can. But if it is constant, then there is not much else that I can do. Sorry. People can rarely upset you. No. People upset me all the time. Like, people can upset me all the time. And I'm not saying this, like, trying to say fake, saying positive, like, oh, no one is upsetting me, I'm chill, I'm fine. No. People upset me all the time because of the problems that I face and because of the personality I do. Because of the personality I have. Like, I cannot be coming up and saying, like, yeah, they're not worth my time, or, yeah, everything's fine. Like, why are these people doing what they're doing? No, like, I am upset at people all the time. Especially when things don't turn out the way I want it to. And sometimes I own up to it. Sometimes I go back to what I do. But most of the time, I get upset by people who want to still be there for the drama, don't understand what I'm saying about stuff, and it's hard to get people to not be upset with me because of who I am and what I want to be and how I want to be presented of. And in turn, I get upset because people don't want to understand me. They want to have their own stances of things they think that they're right about, and don't leave any room for me to say if I want to be right or not. And don't leave any interpretation saying, maybe that guy is some right on some thing or something. But it says, no, 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 you're all wrong. This is what really happened, and you're just being a total effing freak. And that upset me because I value what people think of me. I'm trying to stay with a positive vibe. But the more positivity comes my way, the more negative things that come my way, and it's no fun. It really is no fun. Like, I want to be a positive person, and I try to be. But all these negatives and negatives and negatives, like, stupid negative things keep coming in droves, like it doesn't stop. Anyway, next. You often rely on other people to be the one to start a conversation and keep it going. Well, sometimes I do, but I have to be the one to start off the conversation because, like, 99% of the time, like, okay, 95% of the time, I'm the one who has to start conversation. To try to get opinions, try to get fact, trying to get a conversation going, and try to keep it going. So, no. But, yeah, I often rely, but it never comes to fruition. So, honestly, no. I have to be the one to start conversations, otherwise no one says anything. So, next one. If you have to temporarily put your plans on hold, you make sure it is the top priority to get back as soon as possible. If you have to temporarily put your plans on hold, yes, I actually do. Because, honestly, I have many plans to do my video project, do my artwork, and do my stories, and I've been putting them on the back burner by playing Transformite, then playing DS and Game Boy Advance emulator, and watch videos to pass the time. I get distracted a lot. And the huge swath of time between me making videos and me uploading like a picture or a story is consistent with what I do in like real life or what I do on online games. So yeah, I kind of agree because, well, there's a whole lot of things coming in my way, and I want to be able to do my stuff, but there's a lot of drama. There's a lot of things, lots of messages that I have to take into factor. And, like, seriously, there's a whole lot of ideas that I want to do, but there are not enough time to do it. And even real life has to be, like, a huge factor into doing that. So, yeah. You rarely worry if you make a good impression on someone you met. Yes. Oh wait, no. I rarely worry. No. I worry a lot about keyword rarely. I worry a lot on how good of an impression I make with people. Because, like I said, it comes to the people if they are being taught it or not. It comes to the fact if people are going to be taught it or not. We're going to be nice and cheery saying, how you do? And try to keep a conversation going from their point on. But in most times, I worry a lot about what people think of me by the first impression of, okay, am I this kind of person or that kind of person? Am I going to be too overbearing? Am I going to be not bearing enough? If I'm going to be too informative, or if I'm not informative enough? Am I too paranoid to hang out with this person, or am I not? I worry a lot about if someone is going to be my friend or not due to that first impression, because it all chalks down to personality. It all chalks down to personality if you are going to be fine or okay or just come off as being completely ridiculous. Because that all that matters is that good first impression. You know? Try not to be so philosophical, but it is true. It would be a challenge for you to spend time. No, it would be a challenge for you to spend a whole weekend all by yourself without feeling bored. No, I get bored real easily. But if I do have like a thing in my mind that I want to do during the weekend, I want to still be able to get through it. And get through what I do. And want to still be able to plan on it accordingly. But if I do not have that kind of thing where I want to what I want to do, then yeah, I get bored easily and I'd be like, I'm so bored, I want to have something to do. Yeah, so it would be a challenge without feeling bored. Yes, it actually would, actually. See, always have to reread the thing. But yeah, you are more detail oriented than the big picture person. Detail oriented than the big picture. See, I always picture the big picture. I always think of the big picture, the final idea of what the action will lead to down the road. That is like the thing I do, but that to get there are sometimes strenuous. Like, I think of the big picture being of the way you think done, and I try to be that. Try and get there. But there's a whole lot of depth to try to make sure, okay, this goes here, that goes there, and whatever. And yeah, I guess I'm not like very detail oriented when the thing comes into place. I guess I am a little bit detail oriented with like a big amount of time until the big picture comes in. But when it comes to short play, like, okay, something comes immediate, there is not enough time for me to, figure out all the little minute details before that something comes to play. Because that might come off as a mistake or something. So, no. You are very affectionate with the people you care about. Okay. Here comes a bit tricky. Back when I was in Camp Rassic, back when I used to live in Bismarck, North Dakota, going to Jefferson somewhere, like Lake Rassic, I had this one friend who he and I became like such big nerds. And more so than like more so down the line than what I thought my counselor would be friends like. More than this one fakeish friend that had the mental instability who I used to write the specialty butt to and from school each and every day during like my early years of high school. Or pretty much, in fact, all years of high school. Or probably around middle school, yeah. So probably around like middle school to like high school. This one friend I was like caring about until I had to move. I even attended this one friend's birthday party. And to be sad, that was the only birthday party of a friend that I ever went to. Like, trying to get a present for him which was Pokemon cards. He once came to my house and we saw Lucario and the Mystery of Mew, the 8th Pokemon movie. And those were the only times I ever got to see him outside Camp Ratchet before I had to move. And it was kind of disappointing that me and this friend never really got on. But I expressed clearly that I enjoyed having a friend around. And that also came to the same with like high school with the two friends who also came to my house and we played a game of Halo something, because this one guy, Jason Olsen, brought his like Xbox to the house, and I was like already prepared to be like borrowing the DVDs from the library on all that stuff and bring the game, and I had my whole setup ready. But then Jason brought his Xbox, and it totally took me by surprise. And us three had the fun time. And now, I guess I am kind of affectionate of the friends that I have. Up to the point that I start seeing their actual side, seeing their actual personalities that really start making me question, okay, who are these people loyal to and who are these people getting along with? Should I be worried? Should I be concerned? Should I give them distance and think it out? Or should I try to protect them? Or something like that. So, very much, yeah, I am like protective of my friends and affectionate towards those people. You have a careful and measured approach to life. And no, I do not. No, I do not. You are still bothered by the mistake you made a long time ago yet. Because I've made many mistakes. That is like a thing many people can be bothered and still bothered, or they choose to not be bothered. But me, I am very bothered by the many mistakes because I am a mistakeful, if that is even the word, person who has made many mistakes that really do bother me and make me feel like I wish I could have done something different. Sometimes there are mistakes that don't really need fixing, but yeah, I am bothered because I'm concerned. I'm self-apathetic. And even like recently, I'm bothered with the mistake of being friends with a pedophile who used to be my one friend. until I knew what a true gumbait he really was. So yeah. To add to the note, I do not consider any of my artwork, any of my videos, well, some of my videos, but I do not consider my art to be any of those mistakes, because I enjoy it. I enjoy drawing, I enjoy creating content, and I still want to enjoy it. But the mistakes of the things I did with people, like accidentally tripping over somebody, yeah, it bothers me. At parties and similar events, you can mostly be found farther away from the action. Probably, yeah. Because, contrary to what I am online, I am not the best sociable person. By far. Like, I am not a sociable person. I'd rather be away from any kind of social interaction possible. So, yeah. It's right in between. But I'm gonna have to say here, because honestly, I've been trying to be building up my social skills. But it's a huge crowd of people that worry me. Because, like I said, there could be a time and place for everything. There could be, like, that one person who does get what I am, and there could be that one person who just cannot stand me. So, yeah. Honestly, yeah. You often find it difficult to relate to people who let their emotions guide them. You find it difficult to relate to people who let their emotions guide them. I would have to agree, because I would have to agree because no, wait, disagree, because well, it's a neutral thing. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. I find it difficult to relate to people who let their emotions guide them, because it ties back to what I said earlier, that their emotions could be fake, their emotions could be genuine. It's hard to tell with text, but sometimes it's harder through real life in person, because through that crying demeanor lies underneath that crying cover lies a sinister demeanor with malicious intent. You are not sure of what that person really wants to do, or they are being genuine and want to share you the the manner of the problem, how things are going, and what they have gone through themselves. And honestly, it just builds up way too much. So I'll have to do neutral. Yeah, find it difficult. When looking for a movie to watch, you spend ages browsing the catalog. Yes, because most often than not, I sometimes look at my YouTube sub feed and be like, okay, is this a video I want to watch, or try to hide it so I don't have to think about it, or pick something that only I want to watch. And that's also the deal with Netflix, because there is so many things to watch, and not enough of them catch my eye. Mostly doing away with Bakugan or Pokemon or some kind of movie or series that would catch my eye. But the rest of them, oh, and of course, Let's Go. But there's a whole lot of them that seem to catch my eye, but I don't really want to watch it. So I just look through the episode description, and through a short description it just gives me an idea of how the episode will go, or give me the idea of how a movie would go, and that would be just all the info I need without having to go through hours upon hours of watching the same thing. And yeah, sometimes it's very much grueling to have to do that. So yeah, you can stay calm under a lot of pressure. No, I am not calm at all. I am not calm at all under a lot of pressure, because I get pissed off easily. I may think that I'm going to be calm during a moment of pressure and all of that, but I truly am not. When it comes in the main confrontation that I have to deal with, I am not that calm behind the computer. Because I may look like I'm calm under the surface, like trying to be in tech, but behind the computer screen, I'm fuming. I'm upset. I am not calm at all. Even though I want to be put under the demeanor that everything can be fine, and I am not upset. Those things have been working out a little bit, and I know what makes people tick sometimes under some circumstances. But no, I am not calm at all under huge swaths of pressure. Absolutely not. When in a group of people you do not know, when in a group of people you do not know, you have no problem jumping right into their conversation. When I'm in a group of people, sometimes I do have problems, but it's a matter of placement. Do you want to be in the conversation or not? Because it's like common courtesy that you really cannot get into a random conversation with people you don't know. Because that is not really common courtesy. But then again, in a group of people I may not know, sometimes it is no problem because I can relate to things, some stuff like, oh, that person was mean to me, or yeah, this game's kind of hard, or something like, this game's too hard and I need help, and want to at least contribute that to a certain cause or something. So, yeah, I guess I don't kind of have a problem jumping into conversation. Again, contradicting what I first said about that. So, yeah. But it is common courtesy to make sure you know what the people are talking about first, before you make any sort of judgment whatsoever, or you make notice of the person beforehand, before you make any sort of judgment on what they're talking about, or at least what they're talking about. You have to make sure what they're talking about before you jump into the conversation. That's just pure etiquette. When you sleep, your dreams tend to be bizarre and fantastical. Sometimes, most times, yes. Because no, dreams are often an adventure when I actually do dream. Because I remember when I was in middle school, one night I had this big old Batman dream where when Batman New Victoria was out and still running, I had this dream of battling alongside Drago and Helio and taking on some enemy. Yeah, that was a nice one. And there was there was few times where I would be in some kind of hallway of some mall or a school building, and then I would find myself physically getting younger and getting, panicked each and every time. And there was also this one other time where I was going along the street, sidewalk to my old street down Milton Road and Lake Elmo by Main Street, presumably, which is near the McDonald's and the Target is in the Heights. I'm assuming. I passed by this one building during the night watch and was like going in and seeing nothing but a blank room with like a wooden floor, but like classical wall, kind of like a video game. And there was like a door at the other side of the room, and I went in, and it was like a little girl's dream of having plushies everywhere, and the room was mostly pink. And for my attraction to plushies, like, not sexual in any way, but for my love of plushies, wanted to huddle with them. And the next thing, like, I feel like a half hour later, like, inspecting the room, trying to find something, I come out the same door, and there'd be daytime, and there would be all these kinds of boxes around, like the main front. It looked like a main front office being set in to be like a shop, with like a cabinet and a desk already set and whole kinds of boxes. And it was like daytime outside the thing. And I wanted to go back inside the room I just been with all the plushies. And sadly, that's where the dream ended. But yeah, lucid dreams of bizarre and fantastical things. It's great to have. I still remember, like, me having my hero form in Lyoko, using my rocket boot to carry this one hostage through a hallway corridor, through this tall building, and this horde of a virus, kind of like a zombie kind of thing, was trying to catch up to me, and I was just jettisoning through that long hallway to try to get out of that building. I still remember that, so yeah, very much. That's some things about my life that you didn't know. In your opinion, it is sometimes okay to step in on others to get ahead in life. Well, as Jacksepticeye says, no, it's not. It's not okay. Whether it be YouTube, whether it be art, or be like a mouse game. Well, maybe in like competitive, but in competitive games, but in life? No, not really. When you're trying to enjoy something, like making a video, making art, everything doesn't have to be like a constant competition. Like, everything doesn't have to be like a constant competition to see who gets the most views, who gets the most subs, or gets the most out of life. But sometimes I'm just gonna be neutral about this, because it's not really okay to try to get ahead of the people that you find so spiteful. But sometimes it feels good. But no. Maybe I won't be neutral. You are dedicated and focused on your goal. Only rarely getting sidetracked. Only rarely? No. I am dedicated and focused. But only rarely? No. Like, I am focused on my goal. Trying to do art, trying to do story, trying to do videos. And I am focused on that and trying to attain focus. But I get sidetracked a lot, going back to that statement. Like, I get sidetracked a lot. More than you know. Like, I would be doing Transformers. I would be doing, DS games. I would be playing something else. But no. I get distracted a lot. If you make a mistake, you tend to start doubting yourself, your ability, or your knowledge. Yes, I do. When I make a mistake, and when it gets presented in front of me, I start doubting myself, my ability of being able to do stuff, and my knowledge of, okay, here's what I used to think, is this okay now? Of course not to these kinds of people who clearly don't think that what I do could be of any value, and yeah, it really disappoints me. And like, doubting and depression are the most strongest thing in a creator's career when it comes to a person's negative influence or opinion to your creation. Like, okay, we make mistakes. That's a huge big part of life. But when the mistakes are like so big that it has to like come up in essays and essays, how bad of a person that you are for being in this kind of mindset, and the world is just like so toxic. That can really get you down. So yeah. When at a social event, you rarely try to introduce yourself to new people and mostly talk to the ones you already know. Okay. So when at a social event, rarely try to introduce yourself to new people. Is it talking like in real life or in like online? Cause that's a little tricky. I don't think I get to really try to introduce. I don't think I see myself being at any social event though. Unless if I really really am forced to. So I'm kind of a neutral at that. Because I last year, I went to my grandmother's funeral. Grandma Hera, who was my grandfather's wife, was a very nice being. We went to the funeral there, and on top of my aunt, my other aunt, well, my other two aunts, my cousin, and pretty much my family members, there was like a couple of people that I had to like say hi to and wanted to make sure I get their contacts and all that. Because my aunt thought that I'm living with thought that it would be kind of a most polite thing to do to gather the people's contacts and make sure that I keep conversating with those people after the fact. Like, I have been with, like, this one other person and my other cousin who lives far away out of the state. I don't know where he is. But surely he's doing good. But anyway. But rarely yeah, I guess I'm gonna have to agree. Seems like we're halfway done. Almost halfway. You usually lose interest in the discussion when it gets philosophical. Going back to what Jacksepticeye said, that when it gets philosophical, when dealing what a person is, dealing what race it is, or something like that, maybe, but sometimes I'm being like, okay, this is what this person is, and I have to make sure I know all this, or else it'll lead to a mistake that I can't crawl out of. But yeah, sometimes I kind of lose interest. I'm sorry, people, I just do. You would never let yourself cry in front of others. I do cry. I would never cry. Like, I never cry. Because I'm an emotional person. I'm an emotional son of a bitch. Like, I'm frustrated, then I cry, then I go an understanding, get irritated more, but like, I've been doing good enough these days where I'm not like legit totally crying in front of others. But that doesn't mean that I don't get mad at the other people. You feel more drawn to places with a bustling and busy atmosphere than more quiet and intimate ones. That's also kind of tricky because, well, not really tricky. I am more quiet and intimate because I feel like I'm sensitive to sound. When there's too much noises, sometimes I wish I would have a pair of earplugs to drown out the many sounds coming off all around me. Cause it would overwhelm me to be in that kind of environment where, well, be in that kind of environment where they're like busy and bustling with people. No, I'm not yet crowded. Even though that I am yet in online rooms with a bunch of people, but no, I am not yet in like a huge big room in real life. I'm too delicate. You like discussing different views and theories on what the world could look like in the future. Yes, because I want to have that positive outlook. Like, I want to view the future more out of positivity. But yeah, I do have discussions with you people and to myself different views and theories of what could happen in the future and what it would look like for myself if I were to take the advices that I'm given and the advices of myself that I give myself. So, yeah. Um, yeah. Well, actually, yeah. When it comes to making life-changing choices, you mostly listen to your heart rather than your head. Huh. No, I listen to my head a lot because in my ideal future in making life choices, I often think of my head and gut, like what emotion, but these kinds of days I would go with my heart because sometimes my emotions drive me into some of those life choices. So, but I still listen to my head. Like, I am thinking, okay, maybe this would be a good idea, maybe that would be a bad idea, but yeah, that's why I have conversations with myself, because, and other people, hopefully trying to work out, like an empath, saying what is, what not, whatever. You cannot imagine yourself dedicating your life to the study of something that you cannot see, touch, or experience. You cannot imagine yourself dedicating your life to the study of something you cannot see, touch, or experience. Well, that's also kind of tricky for me to explain because I often imagine the future of something that I have yet to experience, that I have seen, have recently touched, but have yet to experience. So, I don't know. Okay, halfway done already. You usually prefer to get revenge rather than forgive. Okay. This is where it starts to get a little bit personal. Because very, very often these days, I tend to be more on the revengeful side rather than forgiving. Because, like, I'm forgiving a whole lot, but if it's my move, or if at any point, like, okay, this person has given way too many chances to me forgive, like, it's time to cut ties and try to be more, like that. So, yeah. I tend to be a little bit more revengeful than forgiveful. Especially with people like Storming and people on the mountain, and especially Dark Pony and every single other pedophile who tried to harm kids. Anyway, I used to be a forgiving person, and I still want to try to be a forgiving person, but you can only do so much, You often make decisions on a whim. I kinda have to, because sometimes there's not enough time to be making decisions, and there has to be like the limit of there being like a limited time to be doing something. So yeah, I have to make decisions on a whim. I mean that's the part of life when things move by so fast. The time you spend by yourself often ends up being more interesting and satisfying than the time you spend with other people. Yes, actually it is. Because, okay, honestly, I have a whole lot of things that I consider self-satisfying than being with other people who, no offense, that I would have fun times too. but it's only a matter of if and when. And I find myself being more satisfactory of doing things on my own and being alone by myself and try to do things without much input from other people. Especially if it's art project or something to that extent. Like I'm doing right now. You've often put special effort into interpreting the real meaning or message of a song or movie. I wouldn't have to say special effort, but maybe set a cap on some kind of thing or license. You always know exactly what you want. I do not know exactly what I want because there are like a huge amount of choices. Like, I do not know exactly what I want, and some things of what I want are specific. Being all like, yeah, this is like fine, but I'm only looking for this specific kind of item and what kind of cost do they have and if it's gonna work out for me in the long run and something to that extent. Like, I don't know. I don't always know what I want because sometimes I do know what I want, but there would be just another thing that would distract me from getting the actual thing that I want, and I would just soon forget it in the favor of that other thing. But most often than not, then I would have to be like, but I want to get this, but I want to get that, but I want to get this, but I want to get that, because, I might want to get this later, or I might get this, or I might get this, and at another later time that the prices change, mostly gone up, or might go down, or something like that. And it makes me genuinely worried. So no, I do not always know what I want. You rarely think back on the choices you made and wonder what you have done differently. That goes back to another thing that I said previously, like thinking back on the choices that I made differently. I think about that kind of stuff a lot. And sometimes it's rarely, sometimes I think ahead and deal with in front of me now and what would be in the future. But most often than not, I think about the choices I made back then and what would I do differently in like being for real, that I would be, be thinking, okay, what have I done differently to try to make this person, respect me or be friends with me or not be so mad at me, stuff like that. Or could have done something different, like not falling into people or not getting things spilled all over them or stuff like that. But sometimes people need to do that too, because sometimes those kinds of things affect me and they don't know it. People need to think like, what have I done differently so Riku would not have to do this? Stuff like that. But this is only me. And I think about the choices, what I could have done differently, like spoken up more in parent-teacher conferences instead of being awkwardly silent and continue focusing more on the state of my background or something like that, to the point where I say something and I fear I'm going to get into big trouble or have my thing taken away because of one differing opinion. So, yeah. I think about that stuff a lot. When in a public place, usually stick to quieter and less crowded areas. I do. Going back to what I said about being more quieter and less crowded for the sake of my ears. Not wanting to be at a place or even inside a home where things can, be so loud and be so crowded, full of people. So, I usually do. Sometimes I don't have any choice. So I try to make sure that I have something in front of me to make the boredom not show, or the lethargy, things like that. I try to not let my disapproving glance be known, and try to, make myself busy. You know what I mean? You tend to focus on the present reality rather than future possibilities. That is gonna have to be a neutral, because I actually think about both. Because I tend to focus on the present reality of being I tend to focus on the present reality and how they would affect the future. Because firstly, I think about the future possibility first. With me being able to have fun with my friend, that me and him are planning this social outgoing together for like a while now. But first, the press. But after focusing on the future possibilities, I have to focus on the present. And faced with all these different kinds of problems that are faced during it. Like, with the whole me and my friend, I have to factor in, well, how is Maggie gonna react? How's my aunt gonna react? Like, is she gonna respond positively, thinking that it's a good idea? Or is she gonna respond negatively and being like, that's not a good idea, this is my home, and you do whatever I want, with no contact with your friends, and all that kind of stuff. So, that's gonna have to be an in-between. You often have a hard time understanding other people's feelings. Well, sometimes I do. Most times I do. Because there comes a thing like, I wasn't there, so I'm not sure how you want me to feel about that. And that is true in some cases. Like, you are so, like, dealing with someone in a public chat, or you're a counselor and someone is coming to you with their feelings, and you're trying to understand how they're feeling, and you're trying to give your own interpretation to how they're feeling. That's almost kind of like a thing like that. Sometimes I do have a hard time understanding people's feelings. Sometimes I do, given the circumstances of what that problem might be. So, I also have to go neutral. When starting to work on the project, you prefer to make as many decisions up front as possible. Make as many decisions when starting to work on the project. Like, what kind of decisions? Like, managing the video, managing art piece, managing the thing. Sometimes it kind of is a mentally thing. I don't know. When you know someone thinks highly of you, you also wonder how long it is until they become disappointed in you. Yes. That, I said this before, like, it is only a matter of time when it comes to that sort of thinking that you have someone thinking highly of you, and it's only a matter of time before they start seeing the actual side of you. Like I said, it comes with that first impression, but when you start looking into things, to that person, what they are on the side, and what they are under the cover, you start to worry if that person is they'll enjoy being with you, they're gonna like you, they're gonna support you, but then it becomes constant, and then it really starts becoming worrisome because sometimes the problem persists when your friend is friends with that kind of person, and they say that your friend, they say that they're friends, they say that you're being unfair, and they're the ones forced to be making the decision. Like, are you really sure you want to be hanging out with a guy like him? Like, he's a pedophile, or he's not the kind of person you think that he is, or he's not a good person because he did something bad, or did something that you shouldn't be into, or it should be something that society does not accept of being. And that worries me because I have to go through that every single day on Transformice. With my friends thinking highly of me, of course, everything goes fine with a simple, "Hi, how are you? How are things?" But when it gets to the drama stuff, and they are unsure on how to take me, and I start to notice that, and I'm like, oh god. Is it that time to worry, or did they get inside their heads and make sure that I'm hated again or not? So, yeah, it becomes a big problem. Like, you are, like, when you are attracted to your list of friends, you want to make sure that you defend them as much as possible. But it becomes a matter of time before they start actually seeing the real side of you, or they start really seeing what you really are, and it's time for them to make the actual second judgment, which is important. And you want to maintain that judgment as much as possible, but you don't want to compromise that with something negative. But it's only a matter of time before the negative stuff comes out and you're faced with it. You're saying like, oh, are they gonna be mad at me? Or stuff like that. Are they gonna be disappointed? And to me, it worries me. And I'm sure it worries a whole lot of people too. So, yeah, it does. You feel comfortable just walking up to someone you find interesting and strike a conversation. Uh, Kinda? I mean, I'm slowly thinking of the. I'm slowly thinking myself doing that in VR chat, but in person? I don't. No, I don't feel comfortable. No. Almost done. Like 75% done. Check the dashboard. No one! Still no one is in the live chat. An hour 34. Wow. What time is it? 3:37 p.m. We're almost done. You often drift away into daydreaming about various ideas or scenarios. Yes, I do. Because that's just what I am. I'm an idealist. I daydream a lot. I used to daydream in school and make certain noises in my classroom of scenarios of when I would be on Lyoko and other things. So yeah, strongly agree. You look after yourself first, and others come in second. Yeah, I do. Like, I make sure that, well, sometimes I make sure how other people are doing, but sometimes I have to prepare myself first. Like, I have to prepare myself for live stream and make sure that I try to be presentable. The keyword trying. But yeah, sometimes I look after myself first and do the thing before worrying about anybody else. That's how things are nowadays. Even when you have planned a particular daily routine, even when you have planned a particular daily routine, you usually just end up doing what you feel like and at any given moment. Yes, yes I do. Because even though that I would have like the great day plan to be doing art, doing videos, doing this and that, I would most often than not deal with my private stuff, going on the Transformite a whole lot of time, watching YouTube, play other games instead of working on my art, working on my videos, working on my stories. I would get so consistently sidetracked. I would say I would be getting this done. But then again, it's kind of like that 1 10-second clip thing. I'm gonna get it done today, tomorrow. No, that kind of thing. Especially given my thing of thinking. So yeah, your mood can change very quickly. Yes, it can. I might be fine and calm 1 minute, and then I'll get frustratingly mad the second, and then cry afterward, and then go back to being happy given the right motivation, given the right amount of mood that particular video can give me. So yeah, it can change pretty quickly. Sometimes it can change sooner than later. Who knows? You often you often contemplate the reason for human existence or meaning of life. Sometimes I do. When watching stuff like Trent create fear or Reddit videos like r slash Mr. Reddit and r dart, thinking about the state of humanity and how much has gone, even in Transformers. I often think about how much humanity has gone down the drain, how any semblance or form of common sense is non-existent nowadays. How people can be so drastically salty in just a blink of an eye and not give any form of common sense as to why. That's the state of how people are these days. You often talk about your own feelings and emotions. I do. I talk about it a lot, how I'm over emotional about how bored I am or how angry this someone is making me. Or this is making me sad and I just have to tell someone. Because I want to let you guys all know how I am doing, how things are doing in my circle of life. I still want to let you guys know. So, yeah. I talk about it a lot, and I make sure that people know about my feelings. For self-contemplation, or if anyone wants to help me, you have not detailed. You have got detailed education or career development plans stretching several years into the future. So, from what I can tell, this just means that do I plan on having a job or not in the future? I used not to, but given the state and circumstances that I'm in, I want to at least try to attempt to see if I can do commissions for art pieces. Or being able to push art or organize stuff at a convenience store or a market like Target or Walmart, or even at a Come and Go, or even like a Tesoro, or like a gas food chain, or something like that. Like pushing hard, organizing stuff, or doing art commissions, doing stuff like that. So sometimes I do. Sometimes I do. But it might not be, no. It might not be right now, but in the future I got ideas. You rarely dwell on your regrets. I dwell on my regrets a lot. And that goes without saying. Spending time in the dynamic atmosphere. Spending time in the dynamic atmosphere with lots of people around quickly. Spending time in a dynamic atmosphere with lots of people around quickly makes you drain in need of a giveaway. Yeah. Because despite how much it is good for me to be in a dynamic atmosphere with around lots of people to make sure I got necessary skills, do whatever I need to have in life, I am quickly feeling drained right off the bat and want to get away from it all and want to do my own stuff. So yeah. You see yourself as more of a realist than a visionary. Well, sometimes I am visionary. Again, I look at the big picture than what's really put forth in front of me and see the bigger idea in the final form rather than just taking it step by step. But I still have to take the step to create something anyway. You find it easy to empathize with a person who has gone through something you never have. Again, I've discussed this. Like, it is not easy to empathize with people who have gone through with things that I haven't gone through yet. And I'm being like, yeah, you went through this thing, I'm not sure what I'm not sure what I have to tell you. And people have done this to me too. Like, they are not sure how they can help with my situation if they haven't been there or have related to this kind of thing or not. Or people had it worse and keep trying to tell me that their way of dealing with life in a similar way was more worse than mine. Like, my aunt told me that she was beaten with a belt as a kid. I was never beaten with a belt as a kid. So, I have a hard time believing that. Like, have a hard time believing how bad it was. So I emphasize it a little, and that doesn't mean those parents are truly rough. Your personal work style is closer to spontaneous bursts of energy than to be organized and consistent effort. spontaneous burst of energy, and organized and consistent effort. Due to what I do with my 3DS drawing, I guess that is consistent with having spontaneous bursts of energy with like motivation, how much energy that I have, making sure that I'm able to finish it, and stuff like that going on. So, pretty much. Nearly done. Probably 2 more pages. Your emotions control more than you control them. They do, because when I get angry, my anger, like, I let know that I am angry about all sorts of kind of stuff. And when I'm sad, that I make sure that I am sad. And when I'm happy, boy am I happy and really want to stay in that good mood. So yeah. Like, I cannot really enjoy being happy, cannot control being mad, cannot control being sad. So yeah. After a long and exhausting week, a fun part is just what you need. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that can be said through a little thing of school for a lot of people. Like, I never did my homework. And that goes the same with core. Like, I go there, sometimes I'm exhausted from doing my art, or exhausted from doing exercise, doing stuff like that. So, yeah. So, a little bit of fun is kind of good, as long as it doesn't, let the fun overtake you. Temptation and whatnot. You frequently find yourself wondering how technological advancement could change everyday life. Sometimes I do, because we are living in a big future world where anything can be possible. Like, we're discovering the cure for cancer, we're discovering the cure for COVID, and naturally, it's gonna be getting to a point where the fantasy, like, the science in fantasy is starting to become science of reality. And I kind of wish for that day for some kind of engineering where I would grow a tail, or I would change my age at will. Stuff like that. And I often wonder what life would be like if it were be that way. I mean, doesn't everybody? You always consider how your actions might affect other people before doing something. Now, that's kind of tricky because sometimes I do my action before thinking of it. But after I do it, then I start thinking about it, and the next time I do it, I try to keep in mind of how that person may be feeling toward doing something that I may try to do. Like, seeing if, like for example, if somebody's at work and they're not able to be coming on the Discord or something like that, and you're kind of bored, but you just want the attention and you don't think of it. I used to not think of how that other person may be feeling because I just want to strike up a conversation or stuff like that. But nowadays, I am like really thinking about that. No, right after the fact that I made the mistake of like experimenting that with that person. You still honor the commitment you have made, even if you have change of heart. I still honor the commitment, even if I have a change of heart. That is kind of also tricky because even hearts and minds can change. Like, I am still committed to being like a fan of My Little Pony, fan of Lyoko, fan of so many different things. But a lot has happened that really made me worried about the hostility of the many fandoms and communities, like the art community, that would make a normal person wonder, okay, is this really good for me to be in, or is it gonna be not? Because I don't want to be in something that's gonna be emotionally and mentally degrading. So, and that also goes with YouTube. Because you started out with a commitment that you wanted to share entertainment, share all these kinds of ideas with many other people. And as you grow as a YouTuber, then you start noticing that the people might or might not still look up to you in a kind of regard, saying if you're fun or not, or if you're a good person. But at the same time, you still want to honor that commitment of just try to have fun and not care about what some troll thing. Because you're only doing the best you can. So, especially with the whole diaper art community that I'm into, I'm still committed to that because the people in there are so understanding and some of them are friendly. Like, I'm still committed to being in that kind of community because that is one of the actual kind of fandoms that I started out in. Like, the actual one, aside from me being a part of the Kolyoko forum, like, years and years before I started being furry. So, yeah. I would have to say yeah. You rarely feel insecure. I'm insecure a lot. And that is a fact. Like, that is what I've been saying before. Also, that I'm always insecure. Like, I am always vulnerable. I'm always vulnerable, in need of protectors. I'm always insecure, need friends, and want to get on with life without being hassled by many, many people who want to take advantage and use me as a form of harassment to further their own greed and need. But you know that no, there's a whole lot of people that can or cannot feel that insecure or try to cover it. But I am trying to be honest. And I have been honest. And I'm insecure a whole lot of times. And you guys plainly can see it in all my recent streams, recent beats, and vlog videos that I'm insecure, always complaining. I'm always insecure, always complaining, always. Nothing ever changed. So yeah. What I am. Mediator. INFPT. INFPT. And that's just another word for inept. Mind. So, my mind is 60% introverted. That's true. My energy is 71% intuitive, 29% observant. My nature is 57% feeling, 43% thinking. That is true because I had to go half and half with the whole feeling and thinking. My tactic, 35% judging and 65% prospecting. And identity, 8% assertive, 92% turbulent, no thanks. INFPA, INFPT. Introduction. Blah blah blah. We know what we are, but we know not what we may be. Time to do this.
Mediator personality.
Hey!
INFPA. At their best, these qualities enable mediators to communicate deeply with others, easily speaking in metaphors and parables, and understanding and creating symbols to share their ideas. Fantasy worlds in particular fascinate mediators, more than any other personality type. The strength of their visionary communication style lends itself well to creative works, and it comes as no surprise that many famous mediators are poets, writers, and actors. Understanding themselves and their place in the world is important to mediators, and they explore these ideas by projecting themselves into their work.
Mediators have a talent for self-expression, revealing their beauty and their secrets through metaphors and fictional characters. Yeah, that is true, because I fancy myself a lot through any fictional world, through like fictional anime, fictional cartoon characters, and find myself being more attracted to that than the actual reality character, like superhero.
Mediator. If language doesn't stop with their through metaphors and mediators' ability with language doesn't stop with their native tongue, either. As with most people who share the diplomat personality types, they are considered gifted when it comes to learning a second, or third, language. Their gift for communication also lends itself well to mediators' desire for harmony, a recurring theme with diplomats, and helps them to move forward as they find their calling. Listen to many people, but talk to few.
Yeah. May we see. Wow, 2 hours in. Sorry about that, people. Listen to many people, but talk to few. So yeah, I do like listen to many people, like the many YouTubers and many authoritative figures, but I only ever get to talk to at least few that, given what's known, I talk to my friends, and I often feel like I listen to few but talk to more. You know, things like that. Me, as you know, J.R. Tolkien, William Shakespeare, Bjork, Alicia Keys, strengths and weaknesses. Mediator strengths. Idealistic. I am idealistic because I think about a lot of things. seek and value harmony. That's also kind of true because I want to at least, like, I want to, like, seek a part of harmony that, just hopefully people won't be bullying or harassing people anymore. That's my hopeful standpoint on things. Open-minded and flexible. Not sure. But yes, I am open-minded. And hopefully, well, I guess I can agree. Because I am open-minded to a lot of things. Like many different kinks, many different fetishes, many different topics, many different shows or opinions. And trying to be flexible around those things. And even games. Trying to stay on mind of those. Very creative. That is true because I draw a lot, I write a lot, and I edit a lot of videos. And I try to be creative with my title, trying to be creative with the situations that are being put forth to me. That also can be said in like the Transformite video that I took down, of me trying to think of ways to get to the cheese and get back to the hole by some sort of circumstance or by a totem. And I try to be very creative of how I deal with stuff. The thing with my dirt pony, like I did last night, being creative of what I got and trying to get out of the situation. Passionate and energetic. That can be said when I'm passionate about my art or passionate about my friends and putting forth energy into spending time with the friends that I want to be with or the art or stories that I want to make. Especially within stories because you're putting forth your passion and energy into that kind of work. And that's true. Dedicated and hardworking. Sure, I'm dedicated, but yeah, I guess I can say hardworking would definitely be one of them. Weaknesses. Too idealistic. And that does have some problems that I am a little bit too idealistic. Thinking of the big picture rather than thinking of what's really going to happen and all that kind of stuff. Like thinking of what's going to happen rather than focusing on what's in front of me that I need to get done now and need to do all that stuff. Too altruistic. What's that? Never heard that term.
Mediator personality. INFPA/INFPT. Too altruistic. Mediators sometimes see themselves as selfish, but only because they want to give so much more than they are able to. This becomes a
Ah.
self-fulfilling prophecy, as they try to push themselves to commit to a chosen cause or person, forgetting to take care of the needs of others in their lives, and especially themselves.
That makes sense. Yeah, I'm definitely that. Yeah. And that's how other people think of me too, because they see me as being selfish, as not being able to put enough time and effort to think about what other people may think and how other people feel of me, as opposed into me trying to put forward my best, and it just comes off as not really a good thing. Yeah. Impractical. When something captures your imagination, they can let practical maneuvers like day-to-day maintenance and simple pleasures. Sometimes people with mediator personality type will take this asceticism so far to neglect eating and drinking as they pursue passion for cause. Man, really bring it deep there, huh? Like, neglecting to eat or drink. I'm neglecting to drink water because my throat's so raspy. Dislike dealing with data. That is true, because there are people like me who can't deal with the truth well, can't deal with the data like Dark Pony. He can't deal with the fact that he's actually a pedophile and wants to make something more of himself and tries to get out of it, saying like, "Oh, I'm not this kind of person. I'm this. I'm this. I'm this." I am not being hypercritical here because I am not actually a pedo. But yeah, sometimes I don't like dealing with the data that's being presented to me, and sometimes people can try to defend that. That is an actual thing that happens, and how people deal with that kind of stuff. Like this next thing here, take things personally. Like in here, take things personally. Because, yeah, some people some people like me take things a little bit too seriously and cannot take criticism well. And sometimes when faced with a challenge, they overdo it, or they try to defend their stances and try to make a point that they should be right and stuff, and all that kind of stuff. It's true. And it goes to a certain big point where things are taken so personally. You defend that rather than just taking it face value. Difficult to get to know. Right. Because it's difficult yet to know me when I start trying to distance myself away from people who may want to know me, even though I want to put myself out there more. But then as time goes by, all those feelings are kind of taken away, and I decide to shield myself from that. And yeah, that's the thing that we have to deal with, huh? Romantic relationship. Love all, trust a few, do wrong to none. That is kind of better said than done, but better 3 hours too soon than a minute too late. That is kind of true because you don't want to be like late 3 hours because something comes up, or you are late on a schedule that people are coming to see you right after you do stuff and all that kind of thinking. I don't know, I'm talking out of my butt maybe. Friendship? How poor they how poor are they that they have that how poor are they that have not patience? Yeah, some mediators can be hasty. Even as friendship goes stronger and deeper, and friends are lulled into a sense of mutual understanding, mediators mediators enigmatic qualities will never truly vanish. That's true. That is really true. Because that goes back to what I've been saying before about having a friend that try to be friends with you, and sometimes you're not sure if that person is going to be helpful or spiteful. Going to be helpful and bring in positivity, or spiteful who are just using you to saying things. I have better stuff than you do to their other friends and just making them feel used. Or just to gain a social status. And sometimes that's just the way it has to be. You have to watch out for that kind of people. Parenthood. Mediators never stop encouraging their children to learn and grow, and they consider it their duty to inspire and motivate them, both by using their sensitivity and intuition to speak in their children's language, and by leading the way themselves. Modest doubt is called the beacon of the wise. Career path. There's place in there's there's a place and mean for everyone. There is. Like career paths where people want to be artists, or they want to work at a fast food chain, or they want to work at a convenience store, any kind of job. Like there's like a time and a place for everyone if they want to be that kind of person to benefit society in their own way. Most any cause, most any cause, idea, or field can benefit from the artful and natural expression that mediators bring to the table. And mediators have their pick of the world in choosing what they work with. Just like me when I said that I wanted to be like a commission artist, or working in like working to push hearts or organize stuff at a store. Like I'm trying to set boundaries for myself and doing all of that. If to do work what if to do were as easy as to know what is to do. Workplace habit. Oh boy. Conclusion. Let's read through all this.
Mediator personality. 8. Workplace habits. Conclusion. Few personality types are as poetic and kind-hearted as mediators. Their altruism and vivid imagination allow mediators to overcome many challenging obstacles, more often than not brightening the lives of those around them. Mediators' creative. Few personality types are as poetic and kind-hearted as mediators. Their altruism and vivid imagination allow mediators to overcome many challenging obstacles, more often than not brightening the lives of those around them. Mediators' creativity is invaluable in many areas, including their own personal growth. Yet mediators can be easily tripped up in areas where idealism and altruism are more of a liability than an asset. Whether it is finding, or keeping, a partner, making friends, reaching dazzling heights on the career ladder, or planning for the future, mediators need to put in a conscious effort to develop their weaker traits and additional skills. What you have read so far is just an introduction into the complex concept that is the mediator personality type. You may have muttered to yourself, "Wow, this is so accurate it's a little creepy," or "Finally, someone understands me." You may have even asked, how do they know more about me than the people I'm closest to? This is not a trick. You felt understood because you were. We've studied how mediators think and what they need to reach their full potential. And no, we did not spy on you. Many of the challenges you've faced and will face in the future have been overcome by other mediators. You simply need to learn how they succeeded. But in order to do that, you need to have a plan, a personal roadmap. The best car in the world will not take you to the right place if you do not know where you want to go. We have told you how mediators tend to behave in certain circumstances and what their key strengths and weaknesses are. Now we need to go much deeper into your personality type and answer why, how, and what if. This knowledge is only the beginning of a lifelong journey. Are you ready to learn why mediators act in the way they do? What motivates and inspires you? What you are afraid of and what you secretly dream about? How you can unlock your true, exceptional potential. Our premium profiles provide a roadmap towards a happier, more successful, and more versatile you. They are not for everyone though, you need to be willing and able to challenge yourself, to go beyond the obvious, to imagine and follow your own path instead of just going with the flow. If you want to take the reins into your own hands, we are here to help you. 08.
And that's the thing, like, I want to make my own. I want to make my own kind of way to where, like, I want to have other people help, but also do things myself, because I believe that I can be that idealistic and stuff like that. And apparently that's all the time I have to share here. This has been kind of a fun journey. And I... Wow. I never knew that I was a mediator. But I guess I kind of always knew that, haven't I? So, anyway, that's me taking the personality test. Go watch Jacksepticeye video. Um, do this for yourself. Link is the link is right up here. www.16personality.com. You are more than welcome to try doing that quiz for yourself. So, have fun, take care, and I'll talk to you all later. And be sure to wash your hands, stay well, stay safe, and good luck, everyone.